Welcome to the Wildkit Way, a podcast that gives the mic to Dr. Marcus Campbell, the superintendent of Evanston Township High School. Join us on this audio journey as Dr. Campbell shares his stories and insights and has honest, real conversations with people who make ETHS and our community the incredible place it is.
Please remain seated.
Student voice. It can help shape their classroom, their school, and ultimately their own learning and growth. On this episode of the Wildkit Way, Dr. Campbell sits down with Gabby, Burnett and Romel Rojas-Leon, proud members of the Wildkit class of 2024. They share their personal experiences, successes, challenges, and give invaluable advice on what it takes to feel belonging at ETHS. Let's get started.
Welcome, everyone, to the Wildkit Way podcast. I'm Dr. Campbell here, and I am really proud to have two ETHS students that are with me today, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves. I guess, Romel, we'll start with you.
My name's Romel. I'm a senior, and I use he/him pronouns.
Okay.
My name's Gabby. I'm also a senior, and I use she, her pronouns.
All right. And once again, I'm Dr. Campbell, use he, him pronouns. And I guess we'll start with how the year is going so far. What's going on?
For me personally, mostly like college apps. The year just started, so there's nothing really much to it.
But I'm sure you're very busy with college applications.
Oh, yeah. And I guess just like having to do homework and, basically just keeping up with all of that.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Gabby, what about you?
Same with me. I'm choosing to avoid college stuff until I have to get down to it. I'm learning to live in a blissful ignorance. So I'm choosing to avoid it. But like homework, labs, more homework, clubs, a little more homework. It's just homework for me. That's it.
Yeah, homework, labs, homework,
Yeah.
and college stuff. Right? You all are both seniors, right? And how would you describe your 4 years at ETHS thus far?
Okay, well, being that my first year or our first year was online, for me, it was really hard, actually. A lot of people are just like, oh, I use Google most of the time. It was actually really hard for me because I didn't use Google, and I'm more of like a hands-on learner. So having to do that through a Chromebook was really hard. But getting back for sophomore and junior year was pretty easy, and I loved it. So. And
you were part of the Royal Cup for homecoming too.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that's happened since freshman year. Yeah. Gabby, what about you? What's
Last year, they didn't lie when they said junior year was hard. It was the hardest year ever.
Junior year.
Sophomore year was kind of like a fever dream for me. My entire family went to the school. My grandpa, my mom, my uncle, my cousin, all of us. So when I came in here for the first time for real, going to all my classes, I came home. Mom, they had South, and they don't call it Beardsley anymore. They don't call it bacon. They have this. She's like, okay, I know. But I was so excited to be here. I still am. Senior year, I'm no hate to the school. This is my school, E-Town Pride, but I'm ready to go. I'm so ready to go.
Yeah. What about you? Are you ready to go too, Romel?
Sometimes I have those moments. I'm just I need to go.
Yeah. You kind of grow up and you kind of get over it all. Yeah. And, you'll realize second semester that oh, wow, this is really happening. We're graduating, and you'll feel good about it, and you may feel sad about it. And all of those emotions are appropriate, and whatever other ones you have to. Yeah. So what do you all think is on the minds of wild kids these days? You think about your peers and the other students, maybe even the underclassmen. What do you think's on their mind these days?
Well, like I said, for seniors, mostly just college stuff and graduating, or just work. But I'm friends with some underclassmen, and they're just telling me how excited they are to be here. My cousin is a freshman, and she's always telling me about, just freshman stuff. I don't know.
Freshman stuff.
And then, I don't know. I guess they just seem excited about being here. And honestly, I would too if I was a freshman.
Yeah. And as I say, you were part of the homecoming royalty. Yeah. So what's that been like for your journey too?
It was nice knowing that so many people had my support, and they supported me too. And honestly, it just made a really powerful memory for me here, and it's something that I'll be able to look back on and hopefully like these underclassmen can like take inspiration from me and like also run as homecoming court.
Yeah, that student section just roared when your name was called that night at the football game.
I was like a little nervous. I kind of just like blocked everything out, but I was really excited.
Yeah. And Gabby, what about you? How are you reflecting back on this time? You talked about belonging in the video that you did with Dr. Kinsey, and why did that come up for you? And how are you thinking about that these days?
That prompt we had was like, what really makes you feel like you're part of Evanston? And I was talking about my teachers, and again, love my teachers with everything in me. But to move away from them, I feel like the community we all build, we're not going to lie and say Evanston isn't cliquey. We're not going to lie and say Evanston doesn't have their specific groups. But you can always find that one person in all of them to be like your friend, your companion in all of your clubs. I'm a part of recording club, skateboard club, which is a club that had no business being made, but we made it. And then like Emerge, all these people who come together with me, and we're all from like the same kind of consensus. We're all from Evanston. We all grew up here. Even if the kids who didn't, they find a sense of belonging here really quick. And that's one thing I kind of like adore about Evanston is even if we're small, even if there's a lot of us, even if there's a lot of arguments, we're always proud to say like, oh yeah, I'm from Evanston. If you see somebody else around the way, I'm from Evanston, I'm from here, I'm from there. It just feels nice to be a part of Evanston.
Yeah, okay. So can you talk a little bit about the video or two? Because one of the things that Dr. Kinsey did was, she interviewed a bunch of students just to kind of talk about their experiences at ETHS. And then the entire staff and faculty saw the video, and your presence in that video was just so strong.
What I was talking about, or like how I felt, it just felt so great to recognize my teachers. And they asked me like to be genuine, and I thought, really, genuine as I can be. And I low-key gave it to them. I told them like, yeah, this is my problem with this, when you have those teachers. And with that video, when those teachers told me that like they felt seen by what I said, or Miss Sunga said she felt appreciated, or when any of my other teachers were like, oh yeah, we knew you'd be able to do something like this, I definitely cried. I've been a bit of a crybaby since the day I was born. So when I was told that, oh yeah, you really kind of gave me a new perspective on Evanston, you make me feel like I'm still doing my job right, even when I feel tired, even when I have like a hard class. When you said that those teachers who make relationships with the students, they're like the best teachers ever, I felt really seen. I want all the teachers who do that, the teachers who go out their way to move past just work and business with the kids and going on to being like work and relationships. I can go out of my way and still contact those teachers. I want them to understand that they are probably the best kind of teacher a student will ever get, and they are what the schooling system needs.
Yeah.
Instead of teachers who just look at us like paychecks and ones and zeros, the teachers who look at us as people who they want to get to know every school year, they just stay in my mind, and I've never forgotten one of them. So
that's very powerful. It's such a powerful thing for educators to hear, is that the relationships in the classroom matter, the relationships in the hallway, in the cafeterias, even with safety and so many of the other adults, they really do matter. And for you to say that, the good and the challenges that are associated was just, it really resonated with the staff, so thank you for that, because it helped us as a community. And Romel, how do you characterize or think about your sense of belonging at ETHS?
Well, I appreciate that ETHS has like Gabby said, a lot of clubs like Emerge or Team ASAP and many things like that, and also there's teachers here that like you can relate to and have a sense of belonging in their classroom. So I do appreciate that there's like many things like that, and then there's also like summits. And me personally, I've never had like an issue of not feeling, I guess, not belonging here, because there's so many opportunities for many people, and I can see why some people feel like they don't belong here, mostly just because of like students and like things that go on in the student like body, but it's not anything that the school has like an issue with.
What do you tell those students who feel like they don't belong for whatever reason?
Well, I encourage them to like try things that they'll feel like seen. Like I told my cousin that she should try out for some sports that she liked, and she was scared because most people like are a certain, I guess, like race of people, and I can see that like why I would be nervous or why would she be nervous? Because I was nervous. I went through that freshman year when I tried out for a sport, and it was mostly just like one collective race, and I just didn't continue it. So I don't want people to do what I did, and I want them to continue that.
Yeah. What about you, Gabby? What do you tell your peers, underclassmen who feel like they don't belong? What advice would you give them? I'll ask you that question.
That you have belonging with me. I've never been one to like, if like new kids to me, they don't seem like new kids. They just seem like kids. Like you're here to do the same thing I'm doing. Your path might be a little different, but me and you have one goal, and it's to get out of here. So when there's new kids in the area, I always feel like, okay, well, if you're like, I feel like a welcome in person. Like I'm your starter friend. No matter what, you're gonna find a friend in me until you find your real friend group, or until you feel like staying my friend for this entire period of time. Which of course, open arms over here. But like, I want every person to feel like they don't belong. That you will always have that one person, and that one person will always be your go-to. And once you find that one person, and once you make that one connection, those connections are going to grow. Mm-hmm. There's a joke. It's not even a joke. It's the truth. Everybody in Evanston knows everybody in Evanston. I was raised on that.
Yeah.
So I don't want anybody who's new to Evanston or new, like they're Golden Niles when they transfer to Evanston, to not feel like, hey, you're not a part of us. You're weird. You came from the outside. This isn't your group. We already have groups of stuff. No. Mm-hmm. And Evanston has never been a community like that either. So for the people who come in, don't come in with a closed mind. Find your person. After you find your person, make everybody know you. Once you make everybody know you, then you're set. Evanston's like your oyster.
That's really good advice. So I think what I hear you saying is find one person, right? Mm-hmm. You know, maybe not a crowd, but maybe if you can find your one, that can be very helpful. Mm-hmm. That's really good. So we're going to wrap up in a little bit, but I do want to ask you this because I think it's a good question. What would you tell your freshman self now about ETHS? You know, and or what would you tell any eighth grader coming in? But I'm curious. And we go back and we were remote your freshman year and all of that. But what would you tell yourself?
I would tell myself to start off strong, because I remember my teachers in like 7th grade and just like middle school, they would always be like, oh, like high school isn't what you think it is, like you need to work hard freshman year. And I kind of just took that for granted and didn't take it serious because it was online. But now that like I look back as a senior, I'm like, oh, I wish I would have done better in freshman year because, you know, just like academic wise.
Yeah, start strong. I like that. Mm-hmm. Gabby?
Get your safe space and get it quick. I have a few safe spaces in the school where I know that if I really cannot, or if I'm not comfortable going to a social worker, or if I need some help sitting down and talking to the teachers or the staff, I have that place. Like the entire hub staff, I feel like they're part of my safe space. I feel like if I really had a problem, I could come and find them. A bunch of my teachers, we all know, Miss Sunga, Mr. Brown, Dr. Hill, all of them, they are a safe space that I've built myself, and that's a relationship that I built with them. But without it, you're gonna feel so lonely in the school. You're gonna feel like it's only you. You're gonna feel like you have nobody. The teachers are just teachers to you. And that's another thing. Teachers aren't just teachers. Like a teacher just feels like a teacher to you instead of a whole other person that can guide you in different ways that isn't just education. You need to find that person quick and make sure that you are okay being there. Because when you have that safe space, man, school is less lonely.
Good. That's good. So as we wrap up, do you all feel prepared for the next place where you're going?
I do. I feel like there's a lot of things here at ETHS that have helped me feel prepared for that. So I'm just excited what life has to throw at me.
Oh, great. Yeah. Gabby, what about you? You feel prepared?
I do. Nothing that my experiences here or any other place haven't given me that I won't be able to walk through something with a little bit more confidence.
Yeah. Well, I wish the best of luck to both of you. Well, not luck. I didn't want to say it like that. I wish you the best, right? And sending you good vibes and good energy and all of that, because both of you and your contributions to the school and just being who you are, you know, have been amazing, right? And you've made an impact either in ways that you realize it or not, you know, so thank you for, you know, being who you are. And thank you for talking to me and being so honest and transparent here in this conversation. conversation. I know you might have been a little bit nervous, but thank you and congratulations on your senior year, and go Kids. Thank you, everybody.
Be sure to stay connected to the Wildkit Way by subscribing to it wherever you find your favorite podcasts, including on Apple, Spotify, and Google. Thank you for listening. This is the Wildkit Way.